getting close to the top of the hour where we've got to say goodbye, but it's time now to make our picks. Long awaited, and we know that you've been waiting for them, and you know that we're doing pretty well. Brad Sturdy coming back to his standard of going 4-0. Somehow I lucked out and also did 4-0. Cagley took Louisville over Notre Dame, 2-2 last week.
It's not fair. You can't ask Notre Dame games.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Michael. Shame.
The voice of God has spoken, producer Tony. So he's
if I didn't want to win so bad, I would pick against them too. Let's be honest.
I got a little bit of Pete Rose in me, just a little bit too much competitive for my own good.
There you go. Tony is shaking his Notre Dame tattoo at you right now. Okay. Shame on you. Let's get to this week's game. Some good games going on. Really like the Michigan-Washington game. I love these, the new Big Ten matchups, right? With some of these Pac-12 teams, Wolverines and Huskies, a rematch of last year's title game.
This is a really good game. I think this is going to be comes down to whether or not Washington really hasn't played that well, but they haven't played necessarily bad. They've lost, when they have lost, they've lost a tough game to Rutgers and a tough game to Washington State. They've been pretty good defensively, but I really think even though this game is, at Washington, I really think Michigan pulls this one out. I think Michigan's starting to get a little better, and I think they beat the Huskies in Washington.
This is a hard game to pick because Washington, I thought, played better than Rutgers, but lost. And I think when you factor in the end of the game, I think Minnesota played better than Michigan and lost. So now we got two teams here. I'm going to go with the home team on this. I'm going to say Washington. And at some point, don't you just play a goal line defense on Michigan and dare them to throw the ball?
It's true. Mike, I'm with you that it's a really tough game to pick. Like you said, I agree that Michigan, I thought, got a gift. Really, the last 2 weeks, they earned the win over USC. Let's not take that away from them, but really came down to one play. There's one play they made. If that play doesn't happen, they don't win that game and they lose back-to-back weeks. But with that, I'm gonna go Michigan in a close one, just because it's just my gut right now. Ohio State hosting Iowa.
I think this is the easiest one on our list because I don't know that Iowa can score enough points to keep up with this Ohio State offense.
You don't know?
I know that Iowa can't score enough points to keep up with this Ohio State offense. No, Ohio State's so explosive, and I know Iowa likes to limit big plays, but they've given up some chunk plays. So I think this is going to be Ohio State, and I think they're going to win by, 15 to 20 points. I think they're going to win handily.
I think this could be one of those 42-10 specials. I think it's going to be a rare time, but I think Iowa's going to get blown out here.
Iowa's defense, I think this is the one offense they can't hold, right? Even though, exactly. So I'll go with Ohio State as well. Let's go to the SEC right now. Missouri, one of the surprise teams in conference, and Texas A&M off to a good start under their new head coach, Mike Elko.
Yeah, Texas A&M lost that early game to Notre Dame, and since then, they've played pretty well with some quality wins. Now, I think they've won some close games, whether it's against Arkansas or Bowling Green, and they've had to eke some out. But Missouri, you look at them, they eked out a win over Vandy and BC. So I'm going to go. I think Texas A&M gets this one done. I think they find a way to win this one at home. They're 2.5-point favorites, and I think they get the dub.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Missouri on this one. Eli's he's just a good coach, and I think he's going to find a way to get this done. And if it's such a tough conference there, if they want to keep in the CFP race, they got to win these type of games.
Yeah. I'm going with the Aggies on this one at home. Kyle Field, the advantage lifts them through. Missouri, I watched them play against Vanderbilt, just that one game, but boy, they just did not look like a top 10 team. So, but we'll see. Okay, back to the Big Ten. Rutgers at Nebraska. I really love this matchup.
This is a really good game. I think Rutgers is wildly underrated nationally. I really do. When you look at their wins, they've got some quality wins at Virginia Tech and over Washington. So I think they're good. Now the thing is, there's going to be about 100,000 people in Nebraska at this game, and another sellout. And so I think that the Huskers losing twice at home in a row, I think won't happen, and I think they get the win at home. They're 7-point favorites, but I think it's a really close game. If I was picking against the spread, I'd take Rutgers, but I think Nebraska wins this one.
Yeah, I feel like Dylan Raiola at home is going to be enough to get past Rutgers. But this was a hard one. I agree with Brad. I have so much respect for Greg Schiano when he's on the Rutgers sideline, but I'm going to give the home team the advantage here.
Yeah, Mike, I'm with you on that. I think that, and boy, you know what? No one just perseveres and claws and claws and claws. I mean, he did it once before with Rutgers, leaves to the NFL, comes back, and he's done it again. I think that we talked about Penn State maybe benefiting the most from the changes with expanded college football playoff and no more divisions. Rutgers really benefits because for the first time they're not emboldened having to play Michigan and Ohio State, and Penn State every single year. And so, but with that, I like the way Nebraska bounced back last week, and so I'm going to take Nebraska at home as well. The Huskers, will see what they do. Boy, there it is. Our time is up. As always, it flies when you're having fun. Hopefully you guys had a great time as well. We appreciate all the stars and all the great guests who came by this week, as they're stars in our eyes. And as always, enjoy the games, enjoy the weekend. Now we'll talk to you here, same station, same time next week. We'll see you. Red Grange wasn't just a football player. He was a legend. Discover the untold story of Illini great Red Grange in a new novel by Doug Vilhard called The Golden Age of Red. This captivating book takes you back to the 1920s when a humble young Illinois player transformed into the galloping ghost and electrified the nation. Get your copy of The Golden Age of Red by Doug Vilhard today. Available on Amazon and wherever books are sold.